Hey everybody, welcome to week 1 of our May curriculum. This is our first video for the month on Monday, Tuesday, and just want to welcome you guys to May. Looking forward to the nicer weather, warmer temperatures and all that. But before we get going on our lesson for today, I'd like you to get yourself warmed up. So start with some jumping jacks, push-ups, sit-ups, pivot front ups where you swing that back leg up to get that stretch in your leg, and then finish up with 30 seconds of jogging with high knees or doing mountain climbers. You could even hold a plank or do some star jumps. All right, so get your body warmed up and we'll get going. Ready, set, go. All right, guys, so first thing we're going to be going over today is punching. All right, now when it comes to self-defense and protecting yourself and needing to strike someone who's putting you in danger, I'm always going to recommend using palm strikes. That's what I would use, and that's what I would encourage you to use. But as martial artists, we need to be well-rounded martial artists, and we need to know how to punch properly. And so we're going to start off by talking about making a proper fist. All right, so go ahead and raise one hand, I don't care which hand, and you're going to start by curling your fingers all the way in, and then taking your thumb and bringing it around in front of your fingers. Now, sometimes I see kids, and they don't curl their fingers all the way around. They leave them kind of straight, and then their thumb is kind of wonky up here. I see some kids tuck their thumb inside and then curl their fingers around it, and all of those ways are not good. They're not going to keep your hand as strong as it needs to be when striking with a punch. All right, so again, it's curl the fingers all the way into your palm. That means if your fingernails are too long and that's uncomfortable, go clip your fingernails. Good hygiene, good martial artists keep their fingernails nice and short so that you don't scratch yourself or anybody else that you're working with. So fingers in, thumb comes around in front. All right, now the proper punching technique is when you punch, you want your wrist to be as straight as possible, and you don't want it going out to the side at all or front and back this way, okay? A lot of kids start out punching with like these front knuckles like you're knocking on a door, and that's incorrect. The correct way to punch is to come straight out from your arm, and you're striking with these two large knuckles in the front. So these are the strongest knuckles on your hand. Some people have a tendency to kind of turn their hand a little bit and lead with that ring finger and pinky knuckles, and that can result in a broken hand. And I don't want anybody getting a broken hand in my class or anywhere. So I want you to make sure that you have your fist nice and tight, and then as you go straight out, you lead with those knuckles, and you should be able to see these knuckles straight out front. If you can stand in front of the mirror and practice punching your hand straight out, making sure you've got that nice straight arm, making sure it's not tilted up or down or side to side, but straight out so that these knuckles are the ones leading the way. One thing you can do to help build up that strength and that form is doing knuckle push-ups. That's really difficult, and I don't expect you guys to do push-ups on your knuckles, but what you can do is come down on the ground and put your fist down on the ground and see that you've got only those two knuckles touching the ground. If your pinky knuckles or ring finger is out to the side like this, that lets you know you don't have the proper form. You want it to be nice and straight with those two big knuckles leading the way, squeezing your fist nice and tight. Once you get that, and if you want to just practice holding your weight in that push-up position for a little bit, it's really, before you build the muscle, it's really easy to kind of slope out to the side like this, and we want to make sure we don't let that happen. You want to make sure you keep all your weight on those knuckles. All right, so now that you've learned how to do a proper fist, squeezing nice and tight, proper targeting of what surface you're hitting with, now you're ready to do some punches. And we always want to lead with our forward hand. So if you're standing with your right side back, you first want to punch with your forward hand. So the same side as your forward side, coming straight out and then straight back. A lot of kids and adults too, they do this thing where they punch out and then they drop their hand down and bring it back up. And it's like this circle thing, and we call that swimming. We don't want to swim when we're punching. We want to go straight out and come right back to cover. Straight out and come right back to cover. You also want to turn your hip a little bit to reach it out, right? Because if I just go like this and it's only my arm, there's not going to be much power and I can't reach as far. But when I use my hip to twist and snap that wrist out, snap that fist out, okay, that gives it some more power and a little bit more reach too. All right, so that is our first punch with your forward hand. Next comes reverse punch. Reverse just means we're using our backside hand. We're still coming forward. Reverse just means it's a hand that's on the same side as our back leg. So same thing, I don't want to just stick my arm out there. I want to use my hips and push off to snap that punch out there at the very last second. Okay, so I start pushing off my back foot to turn my hip, and then my shoulder snaps the punch the rest of the way out there. So it's like this, okay? Pushing off that back foot, letting that back knee bend, and those toes planted firmly, but pushing forward, okay? So then when we put them together, punch, reverse punch. And remember, bring them straight back by your head. Punch, reverse punch. One more time. Punch, reverse punch. Now if we switch our feet, left side back, same thing. I'm going to lead with my forward hand, and I'm going to twist those hips, and then I'm going to push off the back foot to drive that second punch out. So we've got punch, reverse punch. Reverse just means I'm using the same side as my back leg. Punch, reverse punch. All right, once you've got that good form going, then you can go ahead and try punching a mitt. Okay, so if your family has one of those square rectangle ones, or you have some other boxing style punching mitts, that's fine. Or if you guys don't have any of that equipment, you can use a pillow, something that your parents say is okay for you to practice on. All right, if they have two mitts, what you want to do is punch across to the opposite side. So my right hand's going to go over to their right hand, my left hand's going to go over to their left hand. We don't want to go straight out this way, because then we don't practice going closer to the same target. When we punch across, it's closer targets as opposed to going out like this. Okay, so you can practice doing punch, reverse punch on those mitts, or if you just have one, that's okay. You can just punch one of the same thing. That's even better, simulating punching one single target. Punch, reverse punch. Okay, make sure you're using those hips and then using that voice. No, no. Okay, and always bringing those hands up. Avoid going like this where they drop down. Right? We're also not going to go like this, right? Because when we pull back, that's telegraphing. They're going to be able to duck and get out of the way. You want to go from right here, straight out, okay? All right, so have some fun practicing those punches. Ready, set, go. All right, guys, next step, we're going to be practicing our front kick today. Front kick, meaning we're going to be kicking with our front leg and kicking to the front. If it was a pivot front kick, we would be using our back leg, because pivot means back leg. You guys all know that by now. Okay, but it's not pivot. It's just regular front kick. That means we're kicking with our front leg today. Now, this kind of kick has 4 parts: chamber, kick, retract, back to balance. All right, and here is what those 4 parts look like. I got chamber, where you bring your knee up, ready to kick. I've got my foot flexed, ready to stomp out, because it's the bottom of my foot that's going to make contact. So then I kick, retract, back to balance means I set it right back down to where I had it. So one more time, slowly. Chamber, bring the knee up, kick, stomp the foot out, retract, come right back to that same chamber position, and then set it right back down in the same spot that you picked it up from. All right, so one more time, I want to show you those 4 parts. You can do it slowly with me. We've got chamber, kick, retract, back to balance. All right, so here's what I would like you to practice with a partner. Or if you don't have a partner, you can just hold on to something, right? But what I want you to practice is holding, balancing on something, and then slowly feeling all 4 of those parts. Okay? Chamber, kick, retract, back to balance. And I really want you thinking about you keeping your foot strong and flexed so that if you were kicking an object, it's the bottom of your foot that's stomping out, okay? As if you were smashing a bug. You don't smash a bug by swiping it with your toes. No, you stomp it out, okay? Usually on the ground. I don't want you kicking any bugs on the wall and putting a hole in the wall. Don't do that, all right? But I want you to practice slowly 10 times on each side, getting all 4 of those parts in there and practicing with a partner, and then practicing in the air, okay? Nice and fast. No. Okay, getting all 4 parts. No. Okay? And then next time we practice, we'll practice actually hitting the bag. So have some fun, feeling, practicing those 4 parts with a strong, good foot position. Ready, set, go. All right, guys, next thing we're going to go over is our high blocks. High blocks, anytime we're blocking, that means we're protecting a part of our body, usually using our arms. A high block is for protecting from a strike that's coming overhead. It could be someone's throwing a hammer fist. It could be someone's got a weapon in their hand that they're swinging overhand to strike you with, okay? And this high block is to protect our head. One of the most important things with the high block is that timing and power, right? Because if someone is swinging at me as hard as they can over the top of my head and I just slowly bring my hand up like this, that's not going to stop it, right? The idea is with a high block, you've got to meet it with power. No, right? You have to swing it up there as fast and hard as they're swinging at you, okay? The other thing that I want kids to really practice this month is keeping those eyes up when you're doing your high block. A lot of us, our natural instinct is to flinch and look away, which isn't a bad thing, but if someone is swinging at us and trying to hurt us and we turn away and close our eyes, we won't be ready for what might come next. So I really want you to think about keeping your eyes up as you snap that high block up, okay? So the proper position for the high block, you've got to reach up high with your elbow and then just out a little bit with your arm, okay? You should be just close enough to your head that if you stick your thumb out, you could touch your head, but you do not want to be resting on your head or too close to your head, because then when they strike, it'll just bonk right into your own head with your own arm. So that's where that speed and power comes in that you're meeting with and keeping it from making contact with your head, okay? And same thing with the other side, is snapping it up with power. You really got to reach up with that elbow to get it up high enough, because if I just go like this, well, then they may hit it, they may miss, I may miss, okay? You want to really reach with the elbow and that arm straight across. Again, just close enough that if I stick my thumb out, it'll touch my forehead, but I'm not too close, I'm not resting it, I'm not way back here or just in front here, but just up above my forehead, just close enough for my thumb to reach out and touch my temple. All right? So, this is what I want you to do with a partner if you've got someone to help you. If you guys have something kind of soft and squishy like a foam sword or a pool noodle or a padded stick or something, you can use that to practice blocking. However, if you guys don't have an object like that, what you can do is slowly practice with your partner, just swinging some hammer fists right over top. They need to aim for the top of your head so that you need to get your arm all the way up. And you can practice that timing. Okay, it's really important that you snap it up as quick as you can without going wild, right? Because if you just go, whoa, well, you might miss, and then your arm's way back here and you're not ready for the next thing. So it's really important to practice control, but also with that power and timing, snapping it up, getting it up high enough, and keeping it in control so that you can bring it right back down to your ready position instead of going like this and doing the backstroke. All right? So have some fun practicing that high block, some slow overhead hammer fists for them to practice snapping it up. Start slow and make sure you're getting it into the proper position and not resting on your head. All right, have some fun with that. Ready, set, go. All right, guys, this month we are practicing courtesy. Polite in a way that shows consideration for others. Good manners. There's 5 ways we've got listed here to show courtesy. Saying please and thank you. Letting others go ahead of me. Looking at people when they speak to me. Calling adults Mr., Miss, Mrs., Sir, or Ma'am. And number 5, doing good to those who are mean or say bad things about me. That's kind of the toughest one because even grown-ups struggle with that one. And then our Bible verse, all of you should live together in peace. Try to understand each other. Love each other like brothers and sisters. Be kind and humble. That's from 1 Peter 3:8. All right, so I'm looking forward to teaching you guys about courtesy this month. We'll be doing a lot of things where we got to take turns or work with partners and things like that. And so I hope that if you're learning from home, watching these videos, or getting on Zoom with Master Johnson, I hope that you can find ways to practice courtesy with your family and those around you. All right, remember you can get this from the website, shepherdwarriormartialarts.com. Go to the members tab, and that'll drop down a little menu where you can choose character trait sheets. Scroll down to the juniors at the bottom. Month of May courtesy is there for you to download and print if you wish. All right, you guys have a great day.